Hello students, class 7th. Today we will be discussing about the next chapter, and this chapter is your third chapter, and name of the chapter is about climate and weather. So you know very well that the climate and weather, both the terms are very much different from each other. To remember this thing, you should know that weather forecast is done daily. So it is on the daily basis, while the climate is not that easy to predict. So weather forecasting is done. This thing will be done in detail, and we will be discussing this chapter in detail. So see the video. You have to see the video. In this video we will be discussing, and all the topics under this will be covered. Next video will be about the second part, and in the second part I'll be covering the instruments used to measure different things, like you can say the barometer is used and thermometer is used to measure what. All these things will be done in that part. So this particular part is about climate, weather, what is the difference between them, and what are the factors influencing both the climate as well as the weather. So this video is all about this. Starting with the next chapter, that is your weather and climate. Very first thing, we will be defining weather. It is the state of atmosphere. We know that it is for a given period of time. We will be talking about given period of time. Then it is weather. It can change from day to day and even from hour to hour. It is variable. It varies from time to time, and that time is very short time period. So next is the study of weather, that is known as meteorology. Next, the scientists who study about weather and they study the detail of weather, the factors affecting the weather, and they forecast the weather. They are known as meteorologists. Then, do you think that whether the weather forecasting is good for us or bad? But when we accurately predict the weather, it gives us many things. It helps us in many ways. The very first thing, it helps the farmers to think about their harvest and to think when to harvest their crops, plant their crops. All these things are done by the farmers on the predictions of the weather. Next is your the pilots. The pilots also need the weather forecasting for flying the aeroplanes and landing safely. The other thing you can take into account is the weather forecasting also helps the people to save their lives, and we can warn the people and tell them about the weather conditions, that the weather conditions are worsening and you have to move from that area, you have to go out of that area. All these things can be done. Now the point comes that there should be a department, there should be an authority which should be doing this forecasting. So in India, it is the Indian Meteorological Department, IMD, which is responsible for the observations of weather and forecasting in India. The headquarters of IMD they are presently in headquarter is in Delhi. Next is your climate. Why is climate and weather different? Now when we talk about climate, the climate is the average condition of the atmosphere. It is for the large area. When we are talking about the large area, and even the time period is also very long. We can take into account it is sometimes 35 years or more than that, not less than that. So it is a very long time period, while the weather, it is not having such a long time period. So here is the difference between the weather and the climate. The very first difference is that the weather is the state of atmosphere over the short period of time, while climate is for the long period of time. We have discussed this. Weather can change constantly from minute to minute, while the climate is the average weather of the time, over the time or the space we give, long time periods we take. Weather refers to the atmospheric conditions over the particular place, while the climate is for the weather conditions of a larger area, and it is like talking about the region or the country, you can say. Next, talking about weather. Weather depends upon the temperature, precipitation, all these factors we have discussed. And climate is the aggregate of all these factors for a long period of time. The study of weather is meteorology, while climate, it is climatology. Starting with the elements that affect weather and the climate, all these elements which are written here, they affect the weather as well as the climate. So very first one is the temperature, then is your precipitation, pressure, atmospheric pressure is talked about, and then is your winds, humidity and cloud cover. Starting with the temperature, what is temperature? The degree of hotness, how hot or cold a place is or the area is. The air in that area, the hotness or coldness of that is known as temperature. It depends upon the latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, ocean, currents and winds. All these things, they affect your temperature. Then talking about precipitation. When we talk about precipitation, it is very important. The rainfall, the water, you can say in liquid or solid form, any form it can be, present in the atmosphere and then it falls onto the surface of the earth. It is known as precipitation. The very first one is your rainfall. We all are aware of rainfall. It has not been written over here, but it is important. It is also a form of precipitation as the liquid form of water is coming in form of droplets. Next is your dew. Dewdrops are seen when you see in the morning. You can see it on the blade of the leaves also. So they are small water droplets are present over there. So they are known as dew. Places where the temperature is very low, the dewdrops, they get frozen and it is known as frost. But the frost is very much harmful for the crops. Now talking about the fog, you know about the fog. In the winter season, we all see the fog. So it is very dense. The cloud present very low. It is present and it is present to on the surface of the earth and it is very much low, present at very low height. So it is known as fog and it is very much you can say dense. And the visibility problem is also there. Accidents happen due to fog, and nowadays due to pollution, smoke plus fog makes smog also, smog. Next, talking about the mist. Mist is a kind of fog only, but the density of the, you can say, fog is more than the mist, and the visibility in mist is much higher. We can see in this mist but not in fog. Then are the hailstones. They are the stones, um, water droplets, you can say, but they are frozen water droplets and they are heavy, so they are known as hailstones. They, when they are coming down to the earth's surface, they look like stones. So, and also if you stand, when it is, when the hailstones are coming, then they can even hurt you, they can even cause injuries. So hailstones, they are known as hailstones. Snowflakes, you know that they are very soft. Snowflakes, they don't cause any injury to a person. So it is snow, and again the temperature is very low where the snowfall is there. So this was all about precipitation. Now we will be discussing the next point, that is your pressure. We all know that air occupies space and it has volume as well as weight. Due to this reason, the air exerts pressure on the earth's surface, which is known as atmospheric pressure, and it has relation with altitude. As we move upwards, as the altitude increases, the pressure, atmospheric pressure, decreases. And another relation is there with the temperature. If the temperature is high, the atmospheric pressure is low. It is the inverse relation. If the temperature is high, the atmospheric pressure is low, and vice versa, which means that if the temperature is low, atmospheric pressure is high. High temperature, low pressure; low temperature, high pressure. Isobars, these are not the terms, don't confuse them with the terms in science. These are different. These are the lines that join the places having same atmospheric pressure. Okay, so atmospheric pressure is same. The lines joining the places are known as isobars. Now, the fourth point is your humidity. It is the amount of water vapors present in the atmosphere. So, it is known as humidity. The places, generally it is seen that the places with high humidity, they experience more precipitation than comparative in comparison to the places with low humidity. The reason behind that is the water bodies are present over there, or the dense vegetation is present over there, due to which, and even the temperature is also high, and due to which the rate of evaporation is also high, and it causes the increasing level of humidity or the more level of humidity over there. So there are more chances of precipitation, but it is seen that in the arid regions, the deserts, etc., there is temperature is very high over there, but the water is not present over there. Due to that reason, humidity is not much over there. It is, the air over there is very, very much dry. Next, we will be talking about the fifth point, that is your winds. When the air moves in the horizontal direction, it is known as wind. Wind are the, you can say, wind are generated, or the atmospheric pressure is responsible for the wind movement or the movement of the air, and the moving air is known as wind. So atmospheric pressure is very much important, or it is responsible for the wind movements. So it always moves from high pressure to low pressure, and also the winds are named after the direction from which they start, from which they blow. So like the northeast trade winds, they come from northeast, so the name is given to them. And also it helps to distribute the heat and moisture over the large areas. It even causes the rain in the coastal regions, and the temperature is moderate in the coastal regions. The temperature is very much moderate over there in the coastal regions, so it is responsible for that. Also the wind is responsible for that. Next is our sixth point, that is sunshine. So the amount of sunshine a place is receiving, it depends upon its latitude as well as the tilt. How much it is tilted towards the sun. So it is the tilt of the earth's axis relative to its orbit around the sun. So both these points, the latitude as well as the tilt of earth's axis relative to its orbit, is very important when we are talking about the amount of sunshine a place is receiving. So next is your isohells. Isohells are the lines on the map that connect the places which have the same duration of sunshine. Okay, so the lines connecting the places on the map with same duration of sunshine are known as isohells. We have discussed about isobars also. There the temperature was there the atmospheric pressure was same in isobars. So the amount of sunshine received is very much important when we talk about the higher latitudes. So places in the higher latitudes, it is very much important. The next one is the seventh point, and the last point we have to discuss is the cloud cover. Cloud, when are these formed? We have discussed that when the water droplets, they are deposited on the dust which is floating on the impurities, and the dust floating in the air, the water droplets get deposited over them and the clouds are formed. Similarly, when the moist air ascends and expands, it cools also, the clouds are formed. Clouds are measured in eighths. Eighths means 1 upon 8. Okay, octaves. Eighths are also known as octaves. So if we talk about 1 upon 8 octa, it means that the quarter, which means quarter means 1/4. 1/4 of the sky is covered. If I'm taking this circle, you can see this circle. This region is 1/4 region, and this is the quarter. And 2 upon 8 is 1 upon 4. So it is very easy to talk about and very easy to measure also, that 1 upon 4
2 upon 8 means 1 upon 4. The 1/4, that is the quarter of the sky, is covered. If it is 8 upon 8, the full sky is covered with clouds. If it is 4 upon 8, half of the sky, 1 upon 2, half of the sky is covered with the clouds. So this was it about the clouds. Now we will be discussing about the types of the clouds which are formed, and we will be discussing about them, their types in detail. Here you can see the different types of clouds. The very first one is your cumulus clouds. They are cauliflower shaped clouds, and they are at the height of 6,000 to 9,000 meters. And next are your cumulonimbus clouds. They are gray in color and they cause rainfall. After that, thunder and lightning is also there. The next one is your nimbostratus clouds. They cover the sky, they form the gray sheet, but they cause a continuous rainfall, and the rainfall is not very heavy, it is light rainfall. The next, talking about the next, are your altostratus. Alto means when the mid level, the level of the height, you can say it is mid level height, and they cover the sky with a thin sheet, and they can be seen, even the sun is also seen. Sun is also seen. We can see, you can say they are the translucent kind of clouds. And the alto word means mid level, so you can keep into your mind that alto stratus are mid level clouds. The next we are talking about are the stratus clouds. They are the low level clouds, and then also they are at the height of 2000 meters, and they cause light drizzling. Talking about the cirrus clouds, they are very high. They are above 6,000, and they ranged from 6,000 to 12,000 meters above the ground. So they are feathery, and they are known as the, you can say, clear weather clouds also. So they are mostly seen when the weather is very much clear. So they look like the feathery appearances there of cirrus clouds. So this is it. We have discussed about the different types of clouds also. I hope this is clear to you. All the topics I have taught are clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can leave a comment in the comment section and let me know about your doubts. And whatever the problem is there, you can ask me. Till then, thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.